Hello and welcome to my free case study. And in this case study, I'm going to show some really key information about how we generate 50 to 150K per month for our ecom clients. I'm going to go over a bit about how we work, some info about email, and just some crazy statistics that maybe you're not aware of for email, and then obviously a bit about us as well and how we work and everything. So this is going to be super interesting. If you have an e-commerce store, you're going to want to stay until the end, and I'm going to be giving those who stick around something special as well. So let's just get into it. So I'm sure, obviously, you just click through this ad. You're wondering who is this? Who is this agency that I'm seeing? So yeah, a bit about me. My name is Corey Johnston. I'm the owner of Johnston Media, an industry-leading email marketing agency, specifically for e-com stores. So we only work with just e-com stores, and this is exactly what we specialize in. This is our singular service that we do and that we focus on religiously. Now, in terms of some results, we've generated over $2 million with email. This is attributed to our emails specifically. So pretty, yeah, obviously pretty powerful. And I'll go into obviously a lot more detail about this throughout this case study. Now, in terms of just some results for clients as well, we've actually generated over 100K per month from email for our clients. And, obviously these are the kind of results that can be expected from email, even though some people think it's actually a little bit dead or old or not being used. Yeah, it's just not the case at all. So some of our results really quick, as I say, because I don't want to make this too long for you. I'm sure you're doing other stuff. So really quick, as I say, generated over 2 million with email. We've generated 5 to 10K each time that we've pressed send. So pretty much just from one-time email sends, we've generated 10K plus actually at this point. So 5 figures from one email, and this is just, as I say, a one-time send. So pretty powerful. We've made up 50% of our store's revenue from email. So half of our store's revenue was coming from our emails specifically through flows and campaigns, and I'll go into a little bit more about what they are throughout this case study. We've worked in terms of brands that we've worked with 40 plus brands at this point, ranging from small to much larger. To be honest, around 1 million a month was kind of our biggest. But nowadays, to be honest, we just take over clients. We take on clients over 50K a month in revenue. And as I said before, generated for some clients over 100K a month from email. So yeah, really powerful stuff. Some yeah, very, very good results there from in terms of revenue standpoint. And I'll go into just kind of the key part of it as well from email throughout this case study, which is just that there's really no ad spend involved like there is with a lot of other marketing channels. But as I say, I'll get into that in a little bit. Now, some of our clients, past and currently, you can check those out here. So this is just clients that we've managed the emails for. And yeah, these have been super cool clients and gotten them some pretty killer results, made them a lot of money, and all super happy with working with us. Now, in terms of just some results, just pure results over a 30-day slope, you can see here for one client we made 115,000 in a 30-day period. We've done 120. We've done more than this actually, but I just wanted to show some more kind of standard results, and then obviously a 46K month as well for one of our clients there as well. Now, in terms of our design skills, you can just take a little look here. We're very specific with the type of branding that we do for a client based on the audience that they have. So as you can see here, just depends on the type of product you sell. It's going to be a different type of email. We're going to use different designs, and of course, everything is custom coded and custom designed as well. So I'm sure that you've seen, to be quite honest, in this space at least, I'm sure you've seen a bunch of free case studies like this one and just got no value from them at all. And yeah, I sincerely apologize for that. on behalf of other agency owners. So pretty much I want to give away something for those of you who stay till the end of this video. Now I'm going to give you a cheat sheet on how to bulletproof your store's email domain. And this is super valuable for your store. It's going to teach you how to basically just ensure your domain is going to be having ultra high deliverability. So it's sending to everyone it's supposed to send to. You're not going into spam or promotions folders, for example. And yeah, how to just go about doing that with some step-by-steps there as well. So if you have an e-com store, you're going to want to stick around till the end and hear, or should I say, download this free guide here that I've made for you. Now, as I say, this is invaluable. Bad domain health could actually ruin your store's reputation and ensure that no one actually gets any of your emails. So this can happen if you have a bad domain rep. Maybe if you've been blacklisted or something like that as well. No one's going to get any of your emails, and maybe you won't even know about it. So you're getting obviously you're getting really bad deliverability, then that's going to mess with your results, and you'll think email doesn't bring any results in. So as I say, stick around to the end and check this out. Now, really quick about us, the team. So this is my agency. So I have a team, a pretty small team, to be honest. It's just me, Iqbal in the middle here, and Bo on the right, and we are basically going to be taking over your email marketing. So how this works is Iqbal is your graphic designer and Bo is your Klaviyo manager. Me on the left here, I'm in charge of just ensuring your results, ensuring everything is going smoothly as it always does, and making sure that we're striving for the the 30% revenue mark. Now, about us, we love email. Frankly, we're really obsessed with it. We're just really nerdy about it, and we just really love it. Now, we're experts in email marketing for, as I say, for online stores. This is what we do every single day. And between us, we've got over 15 years of experience doing this. And as I said, we just let our results speak for us. At this point, we've got some pretty impressive results. So as I say, this is all from just from our experience here. Now, how we work, just really quick, we don't actually have any offices. We, as a team, just work remotely. So we just use Slack for communicating, and we just use Zoom for calls. So obviously, if we have any sort of calls or, obviously we'll have ongoing communication as we go on with the project, but we'll just use Slack and Zoom for all of that. And we always respond within 24 hours as well. Now, we're efficient. We're very efficient with how we work. Frankly, everything from getting you onboarded to just how we communicate to the actual planning of the emails, so that the flows and the campaigns. We're fully set up within your ecosystem, being your Klaviyo account. We're, prepped on graphics, branding, holidays for which you'd like to have sales throughout the year. So all of this is stuff we get upfront within the first hour of working with us. So, most agencies, frankly, have very sloppy systems, and they're just all over the place, to be honest. Us, we obviously operate very much differently to that. Now, in terms of results, we're actually obsessed with results. So we're single-mindedly focused on trying to generate 30% plus of our clients' revenue from email, all while minimizing unsubscribes. Now, we actually hedge all of the risk as well. Now, towards the end, I'm going to explain our guarantee, which actually removes any possible downside from working with us. That is how we work. So we actually have no downside. And as I say, we'll go into that towards the end. It's just about whether we're a good fit or not. Now, in terms of email itself, maybe it's because of some sort of conspiracy with email, and that they're trying to keep it down so that it doesn't get too big. But whatever the case is, email has some pretty shocking statistics that probably you've not heard about, unless you're in the space. Now, let me just get into those really quick. So email itself has an ROI of a whopping $36 for every dollar spent. And in terms of actual email users every single day, this number is expected to climb to 4.6 billion. There are 4 billion daily email users, and probably you're one of those yourself watching this video. it'd be pretty strange at this point to not have an email account or an email address. So this number is expected to climb to 4.6 billion by 2025. And I mean, to be honest, email is not going to be going anywhere. I think we can all probably agree with that. Smartphone users prefer to receive brand communications via email. So that's also something we've noticed a lot. It really works super well on mobile. And 50% of people buy from marketing emails at least once per month. And this is definitely true. So as you can see here, just a little graph of email marketing revenue worldwide from 2020 to 2027. So this is just some projections from, just in terms of email and how much revenue it's bringing in and how it just basically grows year on year. Population grows, emails, accounts will grow, your email marketing will grow also. So it's as you see here, it's pretty ridiculous how much revenue it can bring in at this point. And most importantly, a key statistic of email is that, and this was from OptinMonster. They're a big company. They do lead capture software, and they found that 99% of email users check their inbox every single day, with some checking up to 20 times a day. Probably yourself, probably you check your email at least once a day. And as you see here, Pathwire, they also found that from a survey that 84% of consumers said that they check their emails at least once a day. So obviously people, when they wake up, maybe when they have lunch or they're just waiting in line for something, they usually check their email. Okay, and their attention is always going to be there every single day. This is a super important factor. It's just about getting their attention. Okay, email itself is quite honestly, it's a gold mine for your store, and I'm very serious about that. It's a pure gold mine, especially if you have an email list you've not touched or you're not doing much with. With the right expertise, you can bring a consistent and reliable source of revenue. And at Johnson Media, my agency, our focus is to actually build a consistent money printer for your store, obviously being from your email list there. So let me give a real quick example of just exactly what I mean. So this was a 30-day window over which we actually generated 115K for our client. And this was an online store. And obviously they did 300K, as you can see here in the month. And email was 115K of that, which was 37% of their total revenue, which is the type of stats that we're looking for here. We always strive for is at least 30% of your revenue as the goal. Some key metrics here from the month. So there's just excellent across the board, quite frankly, and that is with 100K in revenue. Before we were working with them, they actually were doing very little. They were sending the odd campaign every so often. It was very bad, quite honestly. Yeah, they were just all glitchy, and it was not a good site, to be honest. And in terms of the actual marketing spend needed to make that revenue, the only real cost was the Klaviyo subscription, where you pay for the email marketing software, and that was $1,140 for the month. And obviously that turned into 115K. So that is quite literally another 113K in revenue, in profit, should I say? Because obviously minus the Klaviyo fee, or over 1.2 million a year, around 1.3 million a year in profit just from email. And obviously this is just from that Klaviyo subscription. So it's pretty ridiculous. 100x ROAS is almost unheard of, to be honest with you, from email, from any type of marketing channel. You're just not going to get these types of results, quite frankly. Now, if your store is at $1 million a year, email can actually come in and generate multi 5 figures per month in profit. And if your store is at 10 million a year, email can obviously generate multi 6 figures per month in profit, obviously minus the spend, which is just based on your list size. So obviously the more you pay, the way more that you'll make in terms of profit from that as well. Now, to kind of show this another way, let me just show you a quick graph to show some marketing that you can do for your e-com store. Probably you're familiar with them. So Facebook, Google, influencer marketing, or key marketing channels for most e-com brands. And usually, to be honest, it makes up a bunch of their revenue, if not all of it. So in terms of the email side of things, As you can see here, it's clearly the winner in terms of just percentage of monthly revenue generated. Now, in terms of total revenue, Facebook maybe would earn more, maybe it would earn 50% or maybe more. But obviously the ad spend would usually be around half that if they're getting, say, a 2x ROAS, which is pretty good nowadays with Facebook ads. And Google ads, again, around a 2x, maybe slightly less, maybe slightly more, but around that sort of spend is probably what you're getting. An influencer, again, this can vary, of course. It could be maybe a 5x ROAS type thing, but if we're just being honest, nothing is coming close to email and its type of ROAS here. Now, of course, 100x ROAS is not always the case. It could be, a 40x, 50x ROAS. But frankly, even if that's the case, you won't find another marketing channel on earth that's this efficient for e-commerce stores specifically. So as I say, a 30 to 100x ROAS is unheard of from paid ads, influencer marketing, or SEO. If you're running those, I'm sure you're pretty much aware of that as well. But in terms of email, when it's combined with these other marketing channels, it actually becomes completely unstoppable. This is where it really thrives. So it works well in terms of combining with your other channels. So it really doesn't disrupt anything whatsoever. In terms of how email marketing works itself, let's just really quickly go into just a really, really quick brief overview of what it is. So the formula for success from email, it pretty much boils down to these kind of three segments here. So this would be flows, campaigns, and some mystery segment, which we'll get to in just a couple minutes. But when you combine all of these things together, you're actually going to get a huge profit. As I say, that 30% revenue, and this is with zero ad spend as well. Now, in terms of just a flow and what it is, maybe you're not quite sure. An automated email sequence that's based on triggers that contact makes. This is what we call a flow. So this would be, for example, if someone subscribes to your email list, they're going to get maybe a welcome email series or a flow. And this is just an example of a flow that we could send. So email flows, they actually send people back to your store after they've shown some type of action. So their main purpose is to pretty much just nudge a subscriber to buy. They're trying to get the most out of their initial intent. And obviously these are all automated, so this is all done automatically through Klaviyo. Some results from flows. Yeah, just so you can see from the flows side of things specifically. So from, say, a welcome flow, it's also called a series. So as you can see here, this flow generated 76K in revenue for our client. The abandoned checkout was 27K, 2K from browse abandonment, 6K, and then 24K from another store's account, just from flows over a 30-day slope. Now, flows, as I say, they are a huge part of email marketing, but it's not everything. It's also shared with campaigns. So campaigns, if you're not aware, are a one-time email that's sent to a list or a segment of your subscribers. Okay, so an email campaign's main focus is to send people to your store, and it will do this by highlighting a certain aspect of your brand. Maybe it will be the best sellers that you have. Maybe it will be a new collection that you have potentially, or a new post on your blog, or maybe a sale that you're having, something like this. All of these things can be made into email campaigns. And as you see here, some results from campaigns is, they can be huge revenue drivers as well. Now, combined together, both flows and campaigns will drive traffic to your site, and both will be used together. They kind of work, in sync, in mutual synchronicity. Okay, so that they kind of operate together. And to maximize as much revenue as possible, there'll usually be a healthy split between the revenue from both of these. So as you see here, this was for a client over a 30-day window. So we made for them 41K, and 60% of that was from flows, you say, and 40% around about was from the campaign specifically. So this is a pretty healthy, even split between the two. Of course, maybe campaigns here could be driven a little bit harder to get to that that 50%, a little bit more revenue there. Now, in terms of the actual revenue driving capabilities of flows, this is dependent on the store's list growing, of course. So how do we actually go about growing a store's list? How do we go about getting new emails for that? So we'll come in and we'll basically add a pop-up on your site. We're going to get, you know, starting off, it could be lower, but our main aim is to get to 2% plus of all site visitors to enter their email. So, you know, you can imagine that hypothetically, if your store was generating, say, 100K visits per month, and we get a 2% pop-up conversion rate, then that means we're going to be getting 2K new subscribers to your list every single month. And this will be obviously people that we can email for free. So this is an example of just a pop-up that we could generate, that we could use for, you know, for getting new subscribers. And yeah, it's pretty much just offering some type of discount, maybe something for free, access to something, you know, all of this type of stuff is stuff we can use. And as you see here, the form submit rate from that pop-up was super good. So once the person is subscribed, we'll actually be able to email them based on lots of different things that they do on your site. And I'll go into that really quickly here. So for example, a big problem for a lot of stores is, of course, the old abandoned checkout. You know, people just leave for some reason. Maybe they were going to purchase and then maybe they get distracted, or they have to go, you know, let someone in at the door or something like this, and then obviously it just doesn't work. So, you know, the sale is lost there. But if they are subscribed to your list and they've entered their email into the pop-up that we just showed, for example, they will actually be reminded to purchase via email. So this was a client's flow that we made where it generated 27K over a 30-day period. And this was just from that abandoned checkout, which is, you know, super powerful there. As you see here, this is some more specifics of the metrics there. Now, we're going to find the exact time to delay emails also, to get the best chance of a purchase. So, you know, we're going to test out different time delays, trying to find the ones with the best click rates, the best placed order rates, and we can test all of this within Klaviyo as well. Flows, as you can tell, are extremely useful. And yeah, we can actually create a bunch of different flows. So some examples could be if you know, we send emails if they've purchased a while ago, but they haven't purchased again, for example, so to remind them to go ahead and buy something else. Or maybe they browse your store's products and don't place an order. This is obviously slightly different to the abandoned checkout, but this is a slightly different type of intent. So they'll be getting a custom flow for those there. Or maybe if their order is on the way, they can be reminded to check out your other items. This is actually an example of for one of our clients' subscribers. You could see the actual journey of them receiving the order is on the way email, and then obviously they click a link inside to a product, and then they go ahead and yeah, they actually go ahead and buy that product from the email. So this is just to show how the kind of the journey works with email. Or to be honest, something that happens pretty often is maybe after repeated attempts, this subscriber is, you know, maybe they're just not feeling your brand anymore. Maybe they just found a better one somewhere else, or maybe they just don't like your product. You know, that's just plain and simple. So in this case, they would enter an email segment specifically for them. So yeah, like an example, like the one listed below, they would enter this type of segment, and then they're discreetly removed from your list after a final attempt as well. And this is to keep your deliverability high, as well as keeping your cost down for your software. In fact, there's actually over 10 core flows, like the one I just showed, or these couple that I showed. These are a couple of core flows, but there are 10 plus core flows, and these are based on the most common actions that a subscriber would take. But to be honest, there's actually an unlimited number of advanced flows to eke out extra revenue without increasing spam rates and unsubscribe rates and whatnot. So for example, a birthday flow, when someone's birthday, you send them an email, okay? Now, you may be thinking at this point, like, this sounds all well and good, but isn't this, isn't this too many emails when people get sick of hearing from us this often? And the answer is actually no, they won't. Now, across the board, we see healthy metrics on our clients' emails, even when sending 20 emails per month. Okay. This is just some metrics from a client sending 20 emails a month. And then the Klaviyo guidelines, as you see here, they do not even enter the room for improvement rates. So, yeah, super good there. Now, why is this? Why is this the case? Why is this the case that um, people aren't getting sick of hearing from your emails when you have this many flows set up? Well, the reason why is because people actually can only be sent one flow at a time, and if they enter a new flow, they leave the current flow that they are in. So that's kind of how it works. They're not in every single flow at once. They'll be in one, and if they make a new action, their initial intent will be nurtured, and they'll be moved to the newest flow. Okay. So for campaigns, also, this is how we kind of do it: is we break up the email list into lots of different audiences, and then obviously they're getting unique and different copy and graphics based just for them. So, for example, these are some segments that we would use when we send out one-time emails. So, say an X-Day engaged, maybe a VIP segment, or maybe a past purchaser. Okay, all of these can be used as angles and can be sent different custom campaigns specifically for them. And we can also use stuff like gender, where they're based, their job role, personal preferences, and a whole bunch of other factors that we can use. So yeah, so as you can tell, if it's not already clear, email is super, super powerful and should make up the foundation for any successful ecom store. There's really no downside, quite honestly. And yeah, to say, this also explains why people don't get tired of hearing from your brand, even with lots of emails. So what is the catch here? Why isn't every single store making tons of revenue from email, just raking it in with no ad spend involved? And yeah, like, why is this the case? And frankly, it's because making it work takes a lot of effort and expertise and skills that are not, to be honest, they're not very obvious and they're not very easy to find. A lot of this type of knowledge for email is it's kind of like yeah, it's kind of kept on the hush hush for some reason. It's kept very well hidden by the email marketing agencies. So yeah, we all kind of know about it, but a lot of it is kind of hidden. So the formula for success with email, as I touched on earlier already, is flows plus campaigns. Of course, these are the main drivers, but also the management side is also needs to be run by an expert. This is super, super important to get to that 30% revenue because frankly, I mean, email, it's a lot of work. I mean, we can tell you from my experience here, we're doing this stuff every day that it's a lot of work, and all of these bullet points here that you can see, I'm not going to even read them out, but frankly, it's a lot of work, and as I say here, you get the gist. It's a lot of work involved. Now, when you don't have the time, experience, or the necessary resources and employees and whatnot to make email marketing work, you may just be tempted to avoid it. This is pretty common. Around 44% of companies actually feel the same way, which is quite a shame. And yeah, obviously it's just kind of not really talked about too often. But to be honest, pushing to that 30% revenue line, it actually requires a lot of consistency and dedication every day that unless you have someone full time, it's not going to really work. And from our experience, at least, even an in-house team or person who you've got to do the email, unless they're already an expert in email marketing specifically for e-com stores, it's just not worth the investment in paying them. And I'm going to explain why here, just so that I can kind of back up this claim. So if it's not managed by experts in this niche specifically, and we've seen this a lot, quite honestly, when we've taken over is the people doing it before, they'll spend a bunch of time getting to grips with Klaviyo, or just whatever software you're using, because they can be a little bit technical. The emails themselves, they're just always buggy. They always just load weird, and the list's all over the place. And email is just not making 30% of their revenue, which is the main the main issue, of course. So in this case, you'd obviously keep paying them, but they have very basic knowledge, and they don't know what they don't know. Okay, they don't know all of these things. These kind of, as I say, underground email marketing secrets. They don't know all of this stuff, and they're going to have to learn on the job, and it's going to be pretty clunky. And email will just continue to underperform, and then maybe you'll just assign these staff to another marketing channel. We see this pretty often, and email just gets forgotten about. But if you work with a professional, okay, but if your store is managed by experts in email for e-com specifically, it's going to be a much different experience. Okay, so just really briefly, to be honest, we work fast, and when we jump into your accounts, we're going to start bringing in sales quite quickly. And we'll have your first core flows live within 10 days. Okay. And after our first 30 days, we'll have built out your core segments. We'll have sent some email campaigns, set up some core flows. And obviously, I'll get into the guarantee towards the end, but we'll have brought in at least a 3x our service fee on the emails. So we're going to keep building on core flows week by week, and we're going to ramp up weekly email sends. So we're going to push a list as hard as possible without increasing churn. This is our aim. Percentage of revenue climbs in this case. And then after a few months, 30% of your store's revenue is from email, and it becomes one of, if not the most profitable marketing channels for your store. And in terms of just how much more revenue you can earn from a professional doing it, let me just show just one of our clients welcome emails. This is one that we made for them, and yeah, super good metrics here. It's pretty just off the charts, really. 19% click rate on the first email. This is not very common, I can tell you that. And with a lower quality email, maybe it would achieve an 8% or 9% click rate, and that's of total subscribers, so it's still pretty good. But in that case, it would be a 50% lower click rate, and at scale, these small differences will compound into massive differences. So for this client, as you see here, it would have been 50K less revenue simply because it was not made by a professional. You see here, this was over so around like a 45-day period. Around that is around 100K just from this email. So we're taking a huge hit. And not only that, but in terms of just some extra email marketing kind of secrets that we know, we need to add an email to send to new subscribers if they didn't open the first email. And this just shows just another little secret that we know about how to pull as much revenue from as possible from your list. And it's basically an auto resend to non-openers for the first email. And brought in an extra 4K there, which was nice. And to be honest, we at this, when it comes to email marketing, at this, we know all the best segments of your list to make and to send campaigns to. We know all the best flows to set up. We know all the best A/B tests to run. Okay, our knowledge at this means that we know things that your general marketing team just don't know, quite frankly. And obviously, as I said earlier, they can learn on the job, but it's frankly just going to take a lot of time. And if you're not already intrigued by this case study, there's something else. And bearing in mind, if you stayed around this long, you're going to also be able to get that free PDF below this video to bulletproof your store's domain. But yeah, if you're not already intrigued, here's something else that no other email marketing agency will offer, or to be honest, anyone who works for you at all or who works for the store, is because we understand that hiring a new agency can feel a little bit, kind of like a gamble, to be honest. You don't know whether it's going to work or not. Maybe you get a winner, maybe not. We like to hedge any downside and hedge any risk for you so that this is not the case and is not possible. Okay, so we actually offer a guarantee to hedge any risk for you. And our guarantee. This is our guarantee at Johnston Media, and this is that if we don't generate a 3x return on our service fee in the first 30 days, we will refund the first month. So basically, put in another word, in other words, we literally need to make you at least a 3x on your money, or you pay nothing. Okay. Now this is something that I don't think any other agency is going to offer you, quite frankly. There's really no way to lose at all. And, we don't even really ever need to use this guarantee. We've never actually used it. It's just there as just kind of a safety net to allow clients to feel more comfortable. But yeah, we'll, frankly, make you way more money than this. That it doesn't even really need to be used. And as I say, there's zero downside. But this is all provided that your store meets certain criteria. And there's not a lot, there's only two. And these are that your store must have an email list already of at least 10K. And you must be generating at least 50K a month in revenue as well. So these are the only two requirements. And, we could have loads more to be more restrictive, but frankly, this is just kind of the core elements needed for us to come in. And if you're not quite here yet, that's fine. Obviously, I encourage you to go ahead and look into email yourself and figure out how to do this yourself until you get to that point, and then you can go ahead and we can set up a call as well. But to kind of sum up here, our goal is always to push your list as far as possible while minimizing the number of unsubscribes. And yeah, that's always our aim here at Johnston Media. Now, if your store ticks all the boxes here, we're confident we can come in and generate a huge, and I mean huge, source of sales. So if this is you, if this is your store, and you're not doing anything with email, or maybe you're just doing a little bit, go ahead and below this video, go ahead and book in a call to discuss the possibility of us doing your email marketing. We're going to have a call just to see if we're a fit, to see if if we feel that we can help you based on where you're at. We're going to ask you basically just a couple of questions about your business to see if we're able to, as I say, deliver these results. And then in terms of how we work with pricing and contract length and whatnot. But yeah, super easy call, really. Because frankly, we like to make this quite upfront, but we do ask that, we would ask to not take the call or to not book a call with us if you're just looking for a free consultation, or you're just not really serious in implementing email to your store and you just kind of want to have, some, as I say, free consultation about it. And then, yeah, it doesn't tick all, I should say 2 boxes there, but yeah, all 2 boxes of the requirements. But yeah, as I say, this is what we'll be discussing. And as I say, if you're not doing anything with email, I really implore you to go ahead and book in a call with me using the link below, and we'll see if we're a fit and if we can take this to the next level. So yeah, as I say, go ahead and book a call below, and I hope you enjoyed this case study so much, and hope you have a nice rest of your day. Bye bye.